Monday Nitro number 181, March 1st, 1999. David Flair and Tori Wilson are in a limo.
I have never been so happy that we have video. I don't give a shit about anybody else. I want that for the rest of my life.
That will be gift, and then that needs to be your new avatar.
Someday my daughter will cry with laughter.
Oh, look at my stupid
watching that on a loop. All right.
The gymnast.
Yeah, where are we?
David Flair and Tori Wilson are in a limo.
Oh, yeah.
They are playing voicemails from Rick and laughing at him. I thought this went on for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually they said Rick should retire.
Oh, is that what she said?
Yeah.
I thought she said, so he's going to die.
Maybe.
I played it 3 times. And I couldn't figure out.
They mumbled and the audio was bad and they are disinterested. This is the worst on-screen couple I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah. I think she said...
Really, it's just David.
I guess she must have said retired. I thought she said, so he's going to die. And then David said, yeah, it's about time.
Oh, now they retired then.
Okay.
They're not that evil.
Okay.
The top she was wearing was tremendous, though.
Then there was David. Not tremendous.
Yeah, there's 3 boobs. No?
So the announcer said...
Nothing's going to top the start of the show, Craig, so you may as well just give up.
The announcer said Ric Flair would make an announcement tonight. Had the finish of the Goldberg-Steiner match last week, and then Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell came out for a promo. Buff showing off his abs and cackling at them was the best. Golden. They ran down the fans, they ran down the local sports ball team, they liked the other sports ball team, and they called out Rick Steiner and Goldberg for tonight. Ricky Rackman was at a Nitro party. It looked lame. The Nitro girls were fucking around at the North Carolina campus.
Where are we?
Nothing's happened yet.
No.
Okay, have we talked about Steiner's promo?
I glossed over it.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So they've announced there's going to be a tag team match tonight.
Well,
Did
they
you
should
mention that?
challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is going to be one.
As it turns out, there is.
Yeah.
So Kevin Nash, Lex Luger, Disco Inferno, and Elizabeth come out. So Lex's arm is in this giant brace. Like the biggest brace you've ever seen in your life. And
He got hurt.
Sure.
Yeah.
He also appears to be wearing a white rubber sleeve underneath it.
Well, I mean, it's like, we're watching the old NWA shows, and what's his face got the gimmick from the future?
Oh, Chris Champion.
Yeah. Well, now it's the future. He's wearing the same thing.
It's actually,
right?
It's not quite 2002 yet.
But I mean, he's on the way.
I don't know. All I knew was we never did find out. He got hurt and had surgery. He got a brace on his arm. Fine. Why is his hand glimmering white?
Well, maybe they cut into his hand a little bit and they put a glove on it so it wouldn't get infected.
That makes sense. There's an answer.
Or maybe he's faking it, and it's a mannequin hand, and he's got his hand down his shirt.
No, he's hurt.
Okay.
Just his hand. His arm is legit. But his
You know
hand
the
is
best
somehow-
part of this segment was? I'm going to tell you the best part of this segment.
I don't actually.
Okay.
It wasn't very good.
At the beginning of the show, as we noted, David's getting voicemails
Yeah.
on his cell phone.
Yes.
Then here, Nash says, we're going to offer Rey Mysterio a spot here in the Wolfpack. We got another giant oversized shirt for him. We know that attracts him based on previous storylines.
Like a moth to the flame.
He goes, I'll give him a call. And they call him. And as he's dialing, Tony Schiavone mockingly says,
Oh, yeah.
oh, everybody has a cell phone now.
Yes.
I was like, little do you know, buddy.
In fact, everybody
Well,
does
you
have...
should have talked to Chris Champion.
Wang's got 2.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a burner.
He's got 2 phones. I don't know what he does with them. You have to take that with him.
One's a work phone, one's a personal phone.
So anyway, here, that was the whole bit. Lex said he forgave whoever hurt him, which I don't know who it is.
Ray.
Oh,
But I mean, we don't know that.
okay.
There's been no...
Yeah.
Like-
he never named him, did he?
You watched
No.
this show, and 1 week, Luger's just got his arm in a giant brace. I think he said this was like his first ever injury. I'm like, didn't you have a metal plate put inside that arm? That's a pretty
He did.
significant injury.
It is. So Nash forgives Ray for beating him last week.
That you use as a finish.
Yeah, it was a gimmick. Yes, they say Ray we want you in the Wolfpack. Ray does not appear. Then they call Ray, let him know he has a spot, and Nash says, "Oh, you're not interested? Okay." And he puts down the phone, and they all hang their heads and they all slink to the back. I'm not making that up.
Yeah.
That's what happened here. Nash and Luger and Disco and Liz.
I thought they were fucking around until later it turned out they weren't. They really wanted him. That was.
I guess.
That was legitimately their offer, because later they beat him up for not accepting it.
Well, I think they're going to beat him up one way or the other.
Well, maybe,
he'd
but I
come
mean,
out-
if he'd accepted, maybe he'd just be a cool little member.
I took this as making a sarcastic joke out of the whole thing.
Could have been.
Because I don't think their feelings would have been that hurt.
Well, I mean, they probably knew he would say no, but what if he said yes?
They would have beat him up.
Maybe. They had disco in there.
That's a solid point, actually. Had a Booker T, Bret Hart video package. Psychosis and Kidman. This was fun.
Wait a second. Where the hell are you? Oh, there
First
you are.
match.
Okay, go on.
Psychosis and Kidman. This was fun.
Somehow
Yes.
I missed that. Yeah, you know what this was?
Fun?
Do you know we just watched before this damn show, before you got here, Vinny?
I don't.
205 Live.
Yeah.
Okay? Which actually is better now.
It was really good.
But I'm watching this match, and guess what the crowd was into?
The match?
These fucking little guys flying around.
Ah, yes.
Kidman does a high cross off the post. Psychosis does a guillotine leg drop off the post as Kidman is wrapped up in the ropes. Kidman does a diving hurricane run off the barricade. Every time they left their feet, the fans go nuts.
Yeah.
Hello?
Did they do a lot of flying on 205 Live?
Well, I mean, they're doing a little more now, but still, it's a heavyweight match with little guys. Why is this so fucking hard? Why even have a cruiserweight division? I'm wasting my time. I'm just pointing it out.
So yeah, they went back and forth the whole way, working their asses off. The crowd was into everything. And finally, Kidman won with the powerbomb counter and the shooting star press. A win this was. Arn Anderson confronts David Flair in the locker room.
I gotta admit, David was better than usual.
He was better here than he was in the limo.
Arn was incredible. And I have to say, I'm not just saying this because it's Tori Wilson. She was like impossibly good. She's been there for like 3 weeks. She totally held her own in this thing right here.
Well,
Right?
Okay, that point taken, but she was standing next to David Flair.
It doesn't matter. Like,
No, it does.
she was actually good. And he was okay. She's better than half the WWE women's roster today. She did it for like 3 weeks.
David Flair's face was as red as, well, when you took your little tumble there.
It's always like that.
I know. What's up with that?
He's doing a lot of falling out of chairs.
I see.
I believe that, actually.
Yeah.
Not for 1 second do I doubt that. So, Arn's the best moment part of this whole thing, Arn's appalled that Dave is going to turn his back on his family. He names them off. Reed, Ashley, Megan, your dad, me, Uncle Arn. You're going to throw it all away for that? And he points at Tori. And David immediately says, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Tori Wilson.
Hello?
I don't blame him.
Do it twice.
Maybe 3 times on Sunday.
They jibber-jabbered for a while. Arn tried to plead his case, and they just blew him off as being old and out of touch. And eventually Arn said, I'm leaving. I promised your dad I wouldn't lay a finger on you, but you have been warned.
I walk out this door. It's all over.
That's right.
And he walked out the door.
It's over. Hulk Hogan is with Vincent.
Is this ever going to end?
No.
Okay, the first week, it was like kind of funny. And then the second week, it was a little more funny because they were just going back on what they did. Now it's stupid.
So, go ahead.
The first thing he said is, Hogan, you look good in those glasses, Vince. And he's wearing the exact same glasses.
That's something Hogan has, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Hogan tells Vince, Stevie Ray is jealous that I put you in charge of the black and white. If Stevie Ray speaks up tonight, you have my permission to slap him silly. And they talk about how that's going to happen.
Whoop-de-doo.
So dumb.
More with Ricky Rackman.
So dumb.
Bam Bam Bigelow versus Rey Mysterio Jr.
This was fun.
By the end, it was.
Yeah.
There was I've never seen a match with one guy doing so many just absurd, impressive power spots that was still so boring.
It's like he practiced with Spike Dudley all those years.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
Okay.
They did a Spike Dudley match
Yeah.
with a detail here. No disrespect to anyone. Rey Mysterio is better than Spike Dudley.
That's fair.
Yep. So they all the same power spots, the one-handed suplex, the press slam where I'll carry you around the ring for a minute and then throw you out of the ring onto a dozen guys. Just random security dudes fortunate enough to be there. And it went through I think it went through a commercial. It felt like it went through a commercial. Oh, that's right. It didn't go to a commercial. I stand corrected. The second hour pyro went off.
That's right.
Oh, yeah,
the
right in the
match.
middle of the match.
Yes. For like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
Crazy. Remember they did this like months ago and it was so stupid? Like no matter what was going on.
Yes.
At the top of
For
the
like the
second
first
hour,
year.
they'd blow shit up.
For like the first year they did it, and I think they
No,
realized
no. There was they didn't do it. They would have a segment would end, then they'd do it.
I see.
There was a while where it didn't matter what was going on.
Right.
They were going to blow that shit off at the top of the hour. And it was stupid. And
Yeah.
they got rid of it. Well, we don't learn. So, hey, I got a great idea. At exactly 9 o'clock, in the middle of this Bam Bam Bigelow Rey Mysterio match, let's blow a bunch of shit up for 30 seconds.
Fire and sparklers and crackling and smoke and electricity for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it finally stops, and they go back to the ring, and Bam Bam is bewildered. What just happened in the middle of my match? He looks up, and he looks around, makes sure the building's not like exploding or on fire or anything. And the match continues, and Ray makes his comeback and hits a victory roll out of nowhere for the win. Everyone went for the crazy for the finish.
They went crazy for the finish, and I guess it was kind of cool. They're kind of getting this giant killer thing over, but it's so fluky.
Yes.
This is the second week in a row it's been a total fluke. Like, he falls on a guy, he rolls up a guy. Like, it's a cool little thing to cheer for, but he ain't getting over. He's no more over now than he was before when he was masked.
No.
They're acting like, oh man, you're way more over now.
No.
They're trying to play to his ego by beating these men.
Bam Bam, for being as big as he is, sure took that victory roll like a champ.
Well, Bam Bam was, in fact, awesome.
Yeah.
Mean Gene interviewed Ray backstage immediately afterwards. It was funny because they were using a boom mic for this shot instead of a handheld. So Gene's hands were free, and he had no idea what to do with them. He hadn't been on camera without a mic in probably 30 years.
Should have just gave him a mic.
Yeah. So Ray is talking about how he likes to inspire other small people when the Wolfpack jump him and beat him up, and they said he should have taken the shirt. Suddenly, Bam Bam Bigelow is in another part of the backstage. He's having a brawl with Raven. Now,
What in the hell was this? Now,
it is not exactly what I just said.
I kind of got a little mad about it because it was just so random. But then after I watched Raw, it's like, well, this was fine, you know? But Bigelow just had a match.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he's backstage with Raven brawling.
Yes.
The fucking Sandman shows up. Now he's just Hack.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, hey, it's Hack.
Wasn't he Jim before?
He was Jim, Raven's buddy Jim before. Now they're having hardcore brawls backstage with Bam Bam Bigelow.
I think he had a match with no name, right?
He came out with a fake barbed wire wrapped around him and had a match.
Yeah.
They didn't know who it was.
Yep.
I think it was against Bam Bam.
So he fucking hits a bunch of guys with his cane, including a cameraman. That was at least cool.
Did anyone know? I think her name was Chastity.
Yeah.
She was here. No one
Oh,
identified
is that
her.
who that was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
No one
Cool.
identified her. No one named her. Just a random woman in the shot. Now, I will say the important details. They had this three-way brawl and nothing happened. Who watched Raw first? I watched Raw first.
I
Craig?
watched Raw first.
Craig, you, Brian watched Raw last. Okay. We watched the hardcore brawls on Raw. There's a lot of them. And then you watch this one. This one was so much better.
Yeah.
Such a
true.
better brawl.
Yeah, they just had a quick brawl. I mean, it's Raven, Sandman, and Bigelow. Yeah, it's better.
They've done this once or
they
twice.
have-
Bob Holly and who the fuck was he brawling with?
Al Snow and Road Dogg.
Al Snow and Road Dogg. Road Dogg's good, but so yeah. But the best shot was Hack is just whacking everybody with his stick, and then he just turns and he whacks us.
Yes.
And the camera just goes, "What?" And you see these feet come up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That was
I
awesome.
saw that earlier in the show.
Yeah, it's the second time today.
Ric Flair arrived. He was not happy. Nash and Luger met with Stevie
Mine
Ray.
was a shoot.
Nash and Luger met with Stevie Ray, said he needed to take Vincent out. Jerry Flynn comes out.
Okay, if you say one bad thing about Jerry Flynn, Vinny, there's going to be another fight, okay? I like Jerry Flynn.
Thunderfoot or
Lightning Foot.
Lightning Foot.
Don't make fun of Jerry Lynn.
Lightning
or Jerry
Foot.
Flynn. Yeah,
has a
Jerry
mullet.
Lightning
Flynn
Foot.
is an underrated wrestler.
That's actually true.
Yeah, he's in there with Shat. What the fuck do you want? He sucks.
Well, you're cutting way ahead. You're jumping the gun.
Yeah,
here.
you are.
I am. I'm trying to get this over with. I like the guy. I don't need to talk about this too much.
Jerry Flynn gets to cut a promo.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine, but it's one of those. Why is Jerry Flynn cutting a promo? He's calling out Ernest Miller so they can have a karate fight.
Yeah, he wants a karate match.
Yes.
Remember that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Kat's fucking around backstage when Scott Norton arrives and asks, "Where's your heart? Where's your guts?" He's calling you out. You got to go fight him. So he can't, kill his manhood get challenged like this. He's got to go fight him. So out comes the Cat. What in the fuck?
I think they gave him James Brown music,
Yes.
but they had to
They
not.
couldn't. On Nitro in '99,
Yes.
they were playing a James Brown
Yes.
song. They can't on the network, so you have to play something else.
Yes.
Right.
Why couldn't they play his music?
There's hundreds of other songs they could have played.
But Vinny,
Maybe thousands.
they have his music. They use it to this day.
That's true. It's
Why the fuck couldn't
yeah.
they just
Brodus
dub it
Clays.
back in?
Yeah. Or the one he used 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah, this was appalling.
I don't. This is the worst song I've ever heard in my life. I was just laughing my ass off listening to it.
It's so bad.
He comes out there. He's upset with the lasers. He's upset with the snow. He's protesting everything. And then he goes to charge Jerry Flynn, but he misses and grabs the referee's feet instead. He does like the baseball slide into the ring.
Yeah.
And grabs the ref's feet. And he looks up, and there's no mullet. It's a ref, and they start to do a fight.
Yeah. No, Vinny. Stop. They're supposed to be doing a karate match.
That's right.
Shat puts him in a fucking chin lock. For how long? 5 minutes?
At least.
I mean, it went on. They go to a commercial. They come back. There's a fucking chin lock. I'm like, in what karate are you applying chin locks when you're having a karate fight?
So the crowd's saying it's boring. I agreed with them. There is some god-awful grappling.
Flynn's doing his best. No, Vinny, what happened? It was god-awful, but it was like a shoot. Ernest Miller...
It was shoot awful.
Ernest Miller decides, I'm going to do a scissor takedown
Oh, that didn't,
on Jerry Flynn.
didn't go well.
So he like flies in, he drops down, he scissors his legs on the guy, and he tries to take him down.
Yeah, the RVD
he
move.
fucks it up.
Yeah.
And so Jerry Flynn just mounts him and starts punching him right in the head.
Yep.
That was the best thing in the entire match. I loved it.
That's probably fair.
And what was the finish of this karate fight?
Well, there was, by the end, there was some karate. They each did a kick or two, and they both hit roundhouse kicks simultaneously, and they both go down. The ref announces...
What are you sighing for? It's a karate fight.
I understand.
That happens.
Sure, all the time, I'm sure.
The ref announces, or has the ring announcer announce, and both men are down. We will do a standing 10 count, and the first man to his feet will win. So he starts to count. He gets to about 4, and Ernest, from his feet, reaches over and grabs the ref. This distracts the ref. Flynn gets to his feet. Sonny Ono hits the ring. Sonny kicks Flynn down, leaves the ring. Cat stands up. Cat's up. Flynn's down. Cat wins. And that means we heard his music again.
Can you believe that on the same night we had a karate fight and we had a kendo stick fight?
That happened.
And both of them had a fuck finish.
Yes.
Why? Couldn't one guy just beat the other in the karate fight?
I don't know.
This feud must continue.
It must.
Somebody had to be protected here. Stupid. But I like Jerry Flynn. Did I mention that? He's very underrated.
Jerry Flynn is very fun to watch.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinny.
Perry Saturn versus Hugh Morris.
How many times did Hugh Morris put this guy in a chin lock?
It was not a very good match.
They fucking hired this guy to run developmental. He sucks.
So what I noticed from this match, mainly because it sucked so bad, I was paying attention to other stuff too. You know who else noticed it sucked? Bobby Heenan. We are to the point. Bobby Heenan gave zero
done.
fucks. He didn't care about anything. He's making jokes about the city.
Well, he cared about Goldberg.
I'll get
true.
I'll have more to say about Heenan throughout this. But he's making jokes about the city and the schools and other sports and people and humans hanging from rafters. Some very inappropriate jokes. Again, the crowd is chanting boring, and I agreed with him again. So Jimmy Hart takes the ref. Chris Jericho runs out, hits Saturn with a chain, and Morris hits the moonsault for the win. And Jericho celebrates like it was his win, and that's that. Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell, I believe they invented Bang Bus. They had the bus and the Hummer, and they talk about driving this bus around the country and picking up women and doing all sorts of lewd things to them. That was the whole segment.
Excuse me, what'd they invent?
Look it up.
How's your safe search? That turned
You
on?
know what the funniest thing about this thing was? Besides your description of it? Scott Steiner is supposed to be a total ladies' man.
Sure.
Talks about the hooches and
That's not a ladies' man.
whatever
right?
his line is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's got 25. He's got freaks. He's got women lined up. Blah blah blah. Every time they do a segment, and there's an actual good-looking woman in the scene with him, he fucking turns into a little boy.
Yes.
He was so awkward when this hot girl showed up. He just kind of clammed up and just kind of smiled a little bit. And he's still supposed to be Scott Steiner. He can't. This was like those early segments he did with Hulk Hogan. He was so nervous when she showed up.
The joke I wrote was the bus's couch is still in therapy.
That's a good one, too.
Thank you.
Back at the Nitro party, they were not having as much fun as Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell on their bus. They were playing Twister and eating pizza. Chris Benoit versus...
Excuse me, they were playing Twister?
Yeah. Never played Twister before?
No, it's a shitty party.
Yes.
That's how you
Dude.
play it.
Were the girls playing at least?
I don't even
fast
think so.
forward through this shit. I do
think
not
it was
watch the
dudes.
Nitro party with Ricky Rackman.
The Nitro girls were like reffing the pizza eating contest.
Yeah.
So Chris Benoit wrestled
You
Bret
need a
Hart.
referee for a pizza eating
Yeah,
contest.
same for the Nitro girls to do. They weren't going
Like-
to touch these guys.
Whoever eats the most wins, right?
Yeah.
Is there another aspect of this contest?
Or who eats it fastest.
Okay. Oh, I see. That maybe you need a ref for that.
This is where the show turned around.
Excuse me, Chris Benoit, Bret Hart turned
Yeah.
the show around. Wow.
Yeah, write that
Well,
down.
You know it did.
It did. And,
Since when was this a match? They had the very famous match after Owen Hart died.
Yes.
This is like a forgotten awesome match.
Yeah.
The World Championship
Probably
match
because
later in the year.
yeah, the finish sucked. I think
It
that's
did.
probably why
It did.
it was forgotten. But they beat the shit out of each other. Like Bret tried to break his neck twice.
Oh,
Benoit chopped the shit out of him. Like Bobby Heenan doesn't give a shit about anything
except
Right.
except
when it's good.
wrestling.
When it's actually really good wrestling. And he was so enthusiastic about this 10 minutes after. It was amazing.
He says, I once saw another crippler, Ray Stevens, and he is the greatest wrestler I've ever seen. But Benoit may be a step above. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Watching Benoit fight out of the corner is amazing.
Watching him do anything.
He was spectacularly great at his job.
Gosh.
So the finish is as Bret goes for a suplex and they end up both falling out, tumbling over the ropes. It was the second time Bret fell on his head.
That was scary.
It was terrifying. And Bret goes back in. Benoit's still on the floor. Out come Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham. They attack him with the tag belts. They throw him in the ring. I think, okay, Bret's going to pin him. Great. No, Bret puts him in the sharpshooter. Well, okay, he's passed out. The ref will stop the match. Bret wins. Great. No, Benoit gets the ropes. Bret won't let go. It's a DQ. Why?
Well, that wasn't a great finish.
No,
There
it
was
was
nothing
awful.
on the line.
I don't blame them.
He just wanted to hurt the guy.
I guess.
All I know is I was reading the Observer report of this match, and Dave was not a fan of Bret in this match. He was like, he wasn't very good here. What? Was there another match I missed? Bret was awesome in this match.
Both guys were awesome.
I mean, Benoit was also awesome, but I didn't see anybody half-assing it here.
No.
Let's put it that way.
No. So all three guys are beating up Benoit, and Malenko tried to run out and make the save, but there were still three of them, and now one of him, and they beat him up too. My other takeaway from this,
They choked him out with a belt.
They choke him out with a belt.
Tried to kill him.
My takeaway from this, I don't think this is where they go. I don't actually remember. But Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig, and Barry Windham would be an awesome second-generation grizzled vet stable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
they would.
rule.
And man, what a West Texas redneck Bret would have been.
He was from
'Cause
Calgary.
He used to be Cowboy Bret
He
Hart.
was Cowboy Bret Hart. He was in the Calgary Stampede. He was on a Lonesome Dove.
They dropped the ball again.
Hulk Hogan and all his flunkies came out for a promo. Like dozens of people.
This amused
Okay.
me because there's two guys in the front row. They decided they hate the NWO. They're in Flair country. They stand up and turn their backs to the ring and just flipping them off the whole time.
Let's listen. I wasn't even watching anybody except Vincent and Stevie Ray.
Okay, I'm glad because I didn't see them until they started fighting.
I didn't either. That's
Nice.
the point. All these fucking idiots come out. They're there. They take an hour to come to the ring. Hogan is doing some stupid promo. He's just rambling on. It's just lame. And all of a sudden, in the middle of this, I guess Stevie said something to Vincent. Hogan told Vincent to punch the guy.
Yeah,
Fucking Vincent and Stevie Ray start brawling
yeah.
in the middle of this promo.
In the middle of a Hulk Hogan promo.
Hogan just keeps talking.
Yes, he does.
He's got things to say, brother. Nash is the instigator to this whole thing.
That's what we were
He's
told.
over in Stevie Ray's ear the whole time.
Was he?
Yes.
Okay. Because I
Why would you do this here? Why did
don't
Hogan
know.
keep talking? What the fuck was going on here?
eventually they take Geeks took Vincent away. And by Geeks I mean like Norton and I don't know. Brian
Norton
Adams
is
or
not a
somebody.
geek.
No.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No.
Brian
He's not.
Adams is a geek.
Low-ranking NWO people, I should say.
Yes.
You know,
C-teamers.
Hogan ignores them and moves on, and he had nothing else to say. Yeah, this is all very strange.
Well, thankfully, Ric Flair had something to say.
Good Lord, did he?
Before that, there was a Conan rap video. I have one comment. It's really a question.
We saw it last week.
Yeah, same one from last week.
Well, I missed this detail last week, but I caught it this week. Why did he never wear this red pimp suit to the ring?
Well,
This zoot suit, I believe it's called. Out of this world.
Well, I think Pitbull actually bought the used thing.
It's not his
He's
anymore.
still using it, except he can't get the tie done.
Aha. All right.
I told you it was a good video.
Once I noticed this red pip
Yep.
suit,
See, I told you. I told you last week. Nobody ever listens to me.
Then Ric Flair came out for a promo. It was funny because he's standing there. He's basically being Richard Flair. And Gene asks a question, and he begins. He thanks everyone and says, "Don't worry, I'm going to start slow. Then I'll let it build and crank it up for you." Mm-hmm. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
He didn't lie. He delivered.
Listen, when I say nobody ever listens to me, listen to me here. I have said it before. I will say it again. We've been watching 3 years of NWA shows from the peak of the Horsemen in the 80s. Flair was a great promo. He's way better in the 90s. Am I wrong about that? His promos here in the 90s have been out of this world. I'm not saying his 80s promos were not good.
No, they're different.
This promo was so awesome. Building up this cage match with Hulk Hogan.
If you can believe this, if you've only seen his Attitude Era stuff, in the 90s he was more realistic. In the 80s he was a cartoon villain.
Well, he was a different kind of cartoon villain. He was a cartoon villain in WWE too.
Yeah.
But here he was a guy.
He was a guy who was having some
using
problems with
his
the sun.
real life issues.
Yeah. So he said for 2 weeks, his buddy Arn wanted to beat David's ass. And everyone he met, everywhere he goes, and if you're Ric Flair, you go everywhere and meet everyone. And they all ask, why did David join Hogan's crew? He said he knew what David was going through because 20 years ago, he too had met a hot blonde who changed his life. And then, as promised, he cranked it up and went off. He begins to list North Carolina sports legends. Everyone's going crazy. And the peak of all this is he announces for Uncensored, in however many weeks, the main event is himself versus Hulk Hogan in a steel cage match with barbed wire at the top.
Says no way in, no way out. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like 1985, brother. We're going to sweat, pay the price, and we are going to give America what they have not seen in 10 years.
You should say that.
He also said we're going to fill our shoes. I'm guessing with blood.
They're going to have it out once and for all. One of us walks in, one of us walks out. This promo was so awesome. But I will say, he did completely blow off the entire angle with David.
Yes.
He does not care.
Well, he knows how dumb it is.
Or he just, in the bottom of his heart, he cannot blame his son for doing it.
That's what it really is. He was like, I'd do the same thing, brother.
And he's probably, honestly, I won't even go there. Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell versus Rick Steiner and
I'm
Goldberg.
sure he had an ulterior motive.
He probably had some.
He didn't bury Tori.
He did not bury Tori.
No.
So, before we get to the main event, the match itself, I just wanted a comment about something different. They're all making their entrances, and the announcers say, hey, we're getting more matches for Uncensored all the time.
Where was Buffer?
I don't know. I didn't even notice until you brought it up right now.
I noticed immediately. They flew him in last week to not announce a main event.
It's true.
And then we actually have a fucking main event with main eventers with a finish. Oh, we don't need
Maybe they realized they didn't need him.
Maybe he realized he was so insulted last week they didn't use him. They don't deserve a man of his talents.
Vinny, if you knew what they paid him,
Yeah.
I'm aware.
he was not insulted.
No.
He was overjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't have to write the card.
I know how to get on a plane. I can stay home. So, the announcers are talking about Uncensored, how matches are getting added to the card all the time. And they announce, added to Uncensored, a pay-per-view event, which you must pay money to watch. Jerry Flynn in a handicap match against Kat and Sonny Ono.
What's wrong with that?
Brian.
It was built up perfectly here on this show.
I like Jerry Flynn as much as you do, okay?
Dude, come on.
Sonny Ono.
We haven't used this in a while. This match is no buys.
Oh, come on, Vinny.
That
Get out
match
of here.
sold 0.
Get out of here.
No one bought Uncensored.
What the hell year was this? 99?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm going to look at a card here.
Okay.
I'm going to find out if that's the worst match here on this show.
I bet you it's not.
All right, here's the lineup. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, so fuck you. You know what's on this show?
Wow.
No.
Tell me which you would rather.
Oh, I think I know where you're going to go with this.
Oh, yeah.
I think I know.
Stevie Ray versus Vincent.
You're right. I would rather watch Jerry Flynn than that.
Thank you.
It's not close. Oh, God.
Here's the lineup. We got Billy Kidman, Mikey Whipwreck.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
That, you know what? Mikey got in trouble for this match.
I vaguely remember this.
He got in trouble because he did too good. He was just on Lance's show talking about this.
How about that? Stevie Ray versus Vincent. Harlem street fight for leadership of the NWO Black and White. Whew. You want to know who wins?
Harlem Heat's not in it?
Kevin Nash
One of them is.
versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh, good.
3 guesses what happens there, if you can't figure it out. Jerry Lynn versus Ernest Miller versus
Flynn.
Sonny Ono. Flynn, yes. You know, they're both great. Interchangeable in many ways.
Same mullet.
Hack versus Bam Bam Bigelow versus Raven. Falls Count Anywhere.
Remember
With
that was-
Chastity.
That was fun, I remember.
Benoit Malenko versus Hennig and Wyndham in a lumberjack match for the titles. Barry Saturn, Chris Jericho dog collar match. Booker T, Scott Steiner, and Ric Flair versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
There you go.
So they've been the Malenko thing. They've been using straps on him the whole time, so it leads to a lumberjack match.
Of course.
That makes total sense.
Well, I mean, they can get the straps maybe and whack them. I don't know.
It could be lumberjacks with straps. or
Okay.
something, you know.
6 minutes and 30 seconds for that Stevie Ray Vincent match. Can you fucking imagine?
That's a long time.
Who was Vincent wrestling a couple weeks? Oh, was it the Cat? Vincent came out of Nitro.
Oh, yeah.
Was, like the worst.
Hideous.
The worst.
Yeah.
You know who was not the worst? Anyone involved in this here main event.
That was awesome.
It was fun.
I did think it was amazing. I don't know whose idea this was. It may have been Buff for all I know. Buff took a bad bulldog from Rick Steiner and nearly died.
Yeah.
He's out for a long time. As far as I know, this is his first wrestling match since the injury. He's done some stuff, some brawls and some bumps and whatever, but this is his first match. He's in there with Rick Steiner. The bell rings and he's back with him.
Dude, not only that, their ballsy fucking idea for the finish
Yeah.
is Rick is going to give you the bulldog again that broke your neck and almost paralyzed you. And Buff, he kind of got cold feet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it ended up being a clothesline.
Don't
Yes.
blame
But
him.
God damn it, they tried it. I couldn't even believe my eyes.
It was amazing.
Could not believe my eyes. And you know, it's funny. This show has completely turned around when you take these NWO fuckers out of the main event.
Absolutely.
And you just have main eventers have a good match.
Absolutely.
Who would have ever thought?
So we had Goldberg pressing Scott Steiner over his head a half dozen times.
Ridiculous.
We had Scott grabbing his brother, suplexing him over his head straight back. Just a lot of amazing stuff early. Here's how they got the heat. They exposed the turnbuckle.
Again.
They threw Rick into it, and then they put the turnbuckle pad back on.
Well, they didn't want to go into it.
Genius.
They're not idiots.
That's awesome.
The only flaw with this match is this was an impossibly hot crowd, and they beat on Rick for so long that they killed the crowd. Luckily, he was making a hot tag to Goldberg, and then the whole thing turned around again.
Okay. I know I've asked this question before. and
Yes.
I have to ask it again. Are we certain that Bill Goldberg is not the best wrestler of all time?
He is fucking
This
his comeback. So awesome.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
A force of nature. He hits the ring. He's in the perfect place for everything. Everything looks unbelievable. He's not just muscling guys. He's throwing high kicks and spin kicks. He's agile. He's nimble. He looks great. He did a shoulder block.
Oh, a diving shoulder
I don't
block.
even know. I'm going to try to describe how this looks as best I can. He whips Buff into the ropes. He hits the ropes himself. They're running at each other, but Bill stops, jumps 14 feet straight up, and somehow, I don't even know how, he has jumped straight up. I promise you this, but he still manages to collide with Buff with force. It was like a hawk going high in the air,
No.
and then diving into his target.
It is a airplane running into a mountain.
Okay.
And the mountain lost.
Yeah, you knock over the mountain. It's a big airplane.
It was like a helicopter taking off and then pushing forward
Yes.
as it was in the air.
Maybe a meteor hitting a mountain.
He defied physics.
It was incredible.
Stop with your analogies.
A
So-
meteor hitting a mountain, that's pretty fucking accurate if you saw this.
This is just spectacular. He spears the hell out of Buff, and then I was with Brian. I could not believe my eyes when Rick goes to the top rope and Buff's back is to him. Like, part of me wanted to scream, "Run, Buff, run!" But he did the smart thing. He turned around. He took it like a clothesline. They pinned him. Great. It was a hell of a tag team match.
Show was awesome.
It's very, very
This
good.
show was
Second half of the show for sure.
this
Yes.
show because they had the Kidman Psychosis match early.
Okay, I will say this. Pretty much everything after that first match.
Yeah, Kidman Psychosis was great. Even
was-
Ray and Bam Bam was fun. It wasn't great, but it was fun.
It had a purpose.
Shat and Flynn was awesome. And then Benoit Bread and
Yeah.
Goldberg and Steiner and the Flair promo. This was a 5. This was a 12 on the grand scale.
Yeah.
I'd go as far as to
When
say.
I went into it with no expectations, I enjoyed it very much.
We should always go into it with no expectations.
No,
That'll
I'm
help you
going
out a lot.
to it every week thinking it's going to suck.
No, don't do that. It's good all the way till spring break, I was told, which is weeks away.
Brian, his music.
Oh, damn music! People want the old music back. But
Yes,
I can't
yes, they
get
do.
it.
Sing it.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't either.
Here we go. Well, why don't we try?
Something different.
So you got like a dozen tracks there.
How about this one? Maybe I could turn it up.
Good idea. No,
Nah.
that doesn't say game show. That says Dave Matthews.
It was very Dave Matthews, wasn't it? Ooh.
All right. Vinny likes that
I
one.
don't- The finishes on this show were,
It's too snappy.
after all this work, this is the results you get. Clean pin. Victory via standing up after another guy stood up, but the ref didn't see it. Pin after outside interference. DQ for refusing a rope break. Clean pin.
How about a clam bake?
It's kind of got a hint to what is love, doesn't it?